Who really killed Agnes? If you're just joining us, this is a high school story that has shaken hearts and raised painful questions. In part 1, Agnes walked into the night and never returned. Her body was later found in a place no one expected. But part 2 is where the silence begins to crack. Secrets will surface, lies will be tested, and the truth will start knocking, even if no one is ready to open the door. Stay with us because this is where the real mystery begins. 15 years had passed since the tragedy that has shaken St. Teresa Catholic Girls High School to its core. The school wall still stood tall, the chapel bell still rang, and classrooms were filled with laughter. Yes, some memories never faded. Eunice, the girl who had once shared a room with Agnes, was still behind bars. Time had not healed the pain of that fateful night for anyone. Agnes' mother had lost her life, her heart shattered by the loss of her only daughter. A year later, her father, unable to bear the grief of losing both his wife and child, passed away quietly. Only her two older brothers remained, now married with children of their own, keeping Agnes' memory alive. Every year on her birthday, they quietly celebrated her life, remembering the little girl who had shone so brightly and was taken too soon. Despite the tragedy, St. Teresa Catholic Girls High School continued to thrive. New students arrived each session, full of hope and excitement. Parents still trusted the school with their daughters, believing it was a place of learning, guidance, and discipline. Reverend Father Matthew and Reverend Sister Mary still remained pillar of the school. They guided students spiritually, academically, and morally, ensuring the school produced not just intelligent students, but good hearts. The story of Agnes slowly faded in the school halls. New students had only rumors about the old well, about a girl who had drowned so many years ago. But some things like pain and memory never truly disappear. One quiet afternoon, a new student named Divine wandered near the old well where Agnes' body had once been found. The well had been closed and sealed years ago, never to be used again. Divine, a gifted child who could see things others could not, sat beside it. She closed her eyes and meditated, letting the stillness of the school wash over her. Then she held it, a faint whispering sound emanating from the well. Divine froze. She listened again. The sound grew closer. It was coming from the well. Fear ran through her vein. She stepped closer, cautiously, as the whisper seemed to call her by name. Her heart pounded in her chest. Frightened, she turned and ran back to her hostel, breathless. She recounted what she had heard to her roommates. They laughed. "You are imagining things," her roommate said. "Rumors say a girl drowned in that well a long time ago, but no one really knows if it's true." That night, Divine could not sleep. She had a strange, vivid dream. She saw herself back at the well. The whispers returned, louder this time. A soft but firm voice called out her name, asking for help, insisting it had something important to say. Divine woke up, sweating and trembling, her heart racing, though terrified. A strange courage stirred within her. She knew somehow she would have to return to the well. Little did she know the voice she heard belongs to Agnes' spirit, still trapped, still waiting for someone brave enough to set her free. The next day in class, Divine could not stop thinking about the dream. Her heart raced every time she remembered the whisper. Fear tugged at her, yet curiosity and courage pushed her forward. When classes ended and students returned to their hostel, Divine walked alone across the quiet compound. Her steps were slow, her hands trembled, yet she did not stop. She stood before the old closed well. The place was still, the air cold, and shadows stretched across the ground. Then a soft voice spoke. "Don't be afraid." I will not hurt you. Divine froze. Her knees felt weak, but she did not run. I have been waiting for you. The voice continued. My name is Agnes. Divine's eyes widened. Her heart almost skipped a beat. The voice began to tell her story. Agnes spoke of murder, of being struck and pushed into the well, and explained that her body had died, but her spirit remained trapped. For 15 long years, Agnes whispered, I have been here, waiting for the right person to help me. Divine listened, stunned, tears welled in her eyes. Now she knew the rumors were true. The well was no ordinary well. It was a praising. Agnes continued, her voice heavy with sorrow. When I was killed, my chaplet was taken from me, she said. They used it to trap my spirit here. The spirit revealed where the chaplet was hidden, a place close yet forgotten, tucked away where no one would look. If you find it, Agnes said, my spirit can be free. Divine's fear remained, but a newfound strength surged through her. She took a deep breath and spoke clearly. I promise you, I will free your spirit. The wind whispered through the trees, and for a moment, the world was silent. Divine stood there, knowing her life had changed forever. She had made a promise, and breaking it was not an option. Divine knew her journey had begun. She was no ordinary child. She could see and hear things others could not. Now, she had a mission to free Agnes' spirit. The first step was to draw closer to the chapel. She joined the chapel team, attended every mass, prayed with devotion, and stayed back to clean and organize the chapel. Her dedication did not go unnoticed. One morning after mass, Reverend Sister Mary called her aside. She studied Divine face with a mist of sorrow and recognition. You remind me of someone, Sister Mary said softly, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, but she did not reveal the name. She quickly looked away, hiding the emotion she clearly carried in her heart. Divine sensed it. There was something hidden in Sister Mary's past. Determined to grow closer, she volunteered to help Sister Mary with her daily chores. Sister Mary accepted, grateful for the assistance. Soon, Divine spent more time in Sister Mary's office, dusting, arranging books and keeping the space tidy. In a corner, she noticed an old forgotten box covered in cobwebs. It seems neglected. There was something deliberate about its placement. While cleaning one day, Divine accidentally brushed the box. Stop! Sister Mary exclaimed sharply. Be careful. Don't go near that box. Divine froze. Her heart pounded with curiosity. Later, she asked gently, why does the box look so old and abandoned? Sister Mary forced a smile, her voice trembling slightly. It contains a gift very close to my heart, she said. Though the words sounded hollow, Divine knew something was amiss. That evening, during Mass, Sister Mary forgot her prayer book in the office. She handed Divine the office key. Please, bring it for me, she requested. Divine hurried to the office, retrieved the book and was about to leave when her eyes fell on the old box again. Her hands shook and her heart raced. She turned back and unlocked it. Inside lay a chaplet. Divine gasped. She knew instantly it was Agnes' chaplet. Her hands trembled as she hid it beneath her uniform, locked the box, and ran back to the chapel. She calmly returned the prayer book to Sister Mary, concealing the secret she now carried. After Mass, under the cover of silence, Divine approached the old well. Her heart pounded and her palms were sweaty. She whispered softly, I promised you. With courage and faith, she threw the chaplet into the well. Instantly, a warm wind swept across the courtyard. The air shifted. A gentle glowing light rose from the well, and a soft voice whispered, "Thank you." Agnes' spirit was finally free. Divine fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face, overcome with emotion. But unknown to her, this was only the beginning. Freeing Agnes' spirit had unlocked the path to a much deeper truth, a secret that would shake St. Teresa Catholic Girls' High School to its core. Weeks had passed since Agnes' spirit was set free from the well. Life at St. Teresa Catholic Girls' High School seems to return to normal. Classes continued, prayers were said, and the halls echoed once more with laughter. But the peace was fragile. One night, Reverend Sister Mary had a terrible dream. In her dream, she saw Agnes, her clothes soaked, her eyes filled with sorrow, her voice trembling with pain. "Why did you keep my chaplet?" Agnes asked, her tone both gentle and accusing. "Why did you let the truth die with me?" Sister Mary woke up screaming, drenched in sweat, her heart pounding. The nightmares came again and again. Night after night, fear consumed her. Finally, unable to bear it, Sister Mary ran to Reverend Father Matthew. She recounted every detail of her dreams, every whisper, and every accusation. Father Matthew listened quietly, then asked a question that pierced her heart. "Has anyone touched Agnes' chaplet?" Sister Mary froze. Panic surged through her. She ran back to her office, hands shaking as she opened the old box. The chaplet was gone. Her face drained of color. "Who could have taken it?" she whispered, voice trembling. Meanwhile, Divine began to see Agnes more clearly than ever. She was the only one who could see her, the only one who could hear her fully. Agnes appeared calm yet sorrowful, standing before Divine like a silent play of justice. "My killers are walking free," Agnes said softly, "and an innocent girl, Eunice, suffered behind bars for a crime she did not commit." Divine's heart ached, tears streaming down her face. "I want justice," Agnes continued, her voice steady but filled with sorrow. "My soul cannot rest until the truth is known." Divine nodded through her tears. "I promise," she whispered, "I will help you get justice." During one of the school midterm breaks, Divine could no longer carry the secret alone. She told her parents everything: the well, the whispers, the chaplet, and Agnes' spirits. Her parents were stunned. They had known the story of Agnes, but Divine had not even been born when it happened. After much thought and fear, they went straight to the police, recounting what their daughter had discovered. The authorities had no choice. Agnes' case was reopened. Back at St. Teresa Catholic Girls' High School, Sister Mary and Father Matthew could not sleep. Restlessness shadowed every step they took. Fear followed them relentlessly, and Agnes' spirit continued to haunt their dreams, reminding them that the past could no longer be buried. The truth had returned, and this time it demanded justice. The police returned to St. Teresa Catholic Girls' High School, armed with a search warrant. This time, they were determined. No corners would be left unchecked. They moved methodically through classrooms, corridors, and filling rooms. Every paper was examined, every drawer opened. Then they reached the office of Reverend Father Matthew and Reverend Sister Mary. What they discovered stunned them. Hidden carefully in an old unassuming box were several CD plates. The officer collected everything and took it to the station for analysis. When they inserted one of the CDs, the room fell into silence. What appeared on the screen was shocking beyond belief. Father Matthew and Sister Mary were not teaching. They were not praying. They were intimately involved, kissing, touching and clearly engaged in an adult act. The officers stared in disbelief, their hearts raised. How could this be connected to Agnes' death? One officer murmured. The connection was not immediately clear, but one thing was certain. This secret held power, dangerous power. Days later, Father Matthew and Sister Mary were summoned to the police station. They walked in with head bowed, shame written across their faces. Their secret, carefully hidden for years, had been exposed. Father Matthew remained silent, hands trembling as he tried to steady himself. Sister Mary could hold back no longer, tears streaming down her face. She sobbed openly, the weight of guilt consuming her. Her tears unlocked memories long buried. The night Agnes was murdered, the chaplet they had taken, the secret they had tried so desperately to hide, the truth that had led to blood, lies and years of silence. Father Matthew was once a young, dedicated priest who was newly posted to St. Teresa Catholic Girls High School. Gentle, disciplined, and deeply committed to his work, he earned the respect of students and the trust of teachers. Because of his diligence, he was eventually appointed principal after the former principal was transferred. Soon after, Reverend Sister Mary was assigned to the school. She was tasked with guiding the girls spiritually, morally, and academically. Hardworking and deeply devout, she inspired admiration from both students and staff alike. At first, Reverend Father Matthew and Sister Mary were simply colleagues. They prayed together, they discussed school matters, they supported one another. But over time, that professional friendship shifted. What began as mutual care grew into desire. A bond that should have remained sacred turned dangerous. They tried to resist, but their feelings were stronger than their resolve. Then came the night Agnes disappeared. After night class, Agnes went to the chapel to pray, as she always did. When she finished, she began walking back to her hostel. On her way, she felt thirsty and quietly entered the dining hall to get water. A faint giggling caught her attention. Curious, she moved closer, and what she saw froze her in place. Reverend Father Matthew and Sister Mary were together in a way no sister or priest should ever be. Jesus! Agnes screamed, the sound piercing the quiet hall. They turned and saw her, wide eyes and horrified. Panic surged through them. Agnes ran. In a desperate bid to silence her, Father Matthew struck her on the head with a hammer. She collapsed unconscious. Fear overtook reason. In that terrifying moment, they made a decision that would haunt them in 15 years. They removed Agnes' chaplet and carried her unconscious body to the school well. With one final push, she fell into the darkness below. To protect themselves, they kept the chaplet in a sacred box, believing it would trap her spirit and prevent her from exposing the truth. Silence followed. Lies were told. An innocent girl, Eunice, was sent to a prison for a crime she did not commit, and two holy robes concealed a dark, murderous secret for a decade and a half. As Father Matthew and Sister Mary finished their confession, the room was still. The police officer could hardly believe the story they had just heard. Tears streamed down Sister Mary's face. Father Matthew lowered his head in shame. The truth had finally been revealed. Justice, long delay, was about to begin. When the Catholic bishop was informed, he sat in stunned silence for a long time. He could not comprehend what he had just heard. Two people entrusted with God's work, Father Matthew and Sister Mary, had concealed a darkness so terrible it stained the very walls they served. With a heavy heart, the bishop ordered that both be stripped of their robes. No longer priest or nun, they were now criminals in the eyes of the law and the faithful. The news spread like wildfire across the internet. People wept, people cursed, questions filled the air. How could such evil hide behind holy walls for so many years? Agnes' brother watched the news in terrible disbelief. They traveled to their parents' graves, hands shaking, hearts breaking, kneeling on the cold ground, tears streaming freely. Papa, Mama, we have finally found who killed Agnes. They whispered with broken voices. The truth has come out. At the same time, Eunice walked out of prison, finally free after 15 long years of suffering, shame and stolen youth. Her parents collapsed in tears, embracing her as if they could make up for every lost moment. Soon after, they filed suit against the authorities, demanding justice for the life stolen from their daughter. Justice, though delayed, had finally arrived. Father Matthew and Sister Mary were brought to court. The evidence were overwhelming. Their confession, recorded and undeniable, left no room for escape. The sentence was severe and final: death. In the wake of the revelations, St. Teresa Catholic Girls' High School was permanently closed. The gates were locked. The chapel bell fell silent. The school that has once promised safety and holiness would never open its doors again. One quiet night, Divine was in her room meditating. The air was still, heavy with memory. Then Agnes appeared before her, serene and at peace. "Thank you," Agnes whispered softly, her eyes gentle and free from pain. "You gave me justice." A soft wind brushed Divine's face. Agnes' spirit slowly faded into the night, finally released from 15 years of torment. For the first time in 15 long years, her soul was truly free. Lessons from the story. This story teaches us that words spoken carelessly can destroy lives in ways we never imagined. Eunice did not kill Agnes. She did not plan her death. She did not touch her. Yet, she lost 15 years of her life behind cold prison walls because of words she once spoken without thinking. Words born of jealousy, frustration and pain. Words she never meant to act upon became the shadow that followed her. When tragedy struck, those same words became the rope that tied her to a crime she never committed. This story speaks to you, the one who speaks in anger, threatened when hurt, or say, "I will deal with you," without thinking of tomorrow. Your words matter. Your words can outlive you. Your words can be used against you. Your words can become a prison. 15 years of Eunice's youth were stolen, dreams were buried, life paused, innocence was ignored. Let this remind us all: careless words have the power to destroy innocent lives. This story also revealed a deep, darker truth. Reverend Father Matthew and Sister Mary were trusted, respected and reverend. People believed that wearing holy robes and speaking sacred words meant their hearts were pure. Students trusted them. Parents trusted them. The church trusted them. Yet behind closed doors, they hid sin, lies and murder. This story warns us all: never be blinded by religion, titles or appearances. A robe does not make a heart pure. A loud prayer does not guarantee a clean conscience. Evil does not always wear a mask of darkness. It can wear authority, holiness, or even stand on the altar. Trust must be tampered with wisdom. Faith must be paired with discernment. Respect people, but keep your eyes open. Believe in God, but never worship humans. And finally, this story whispers hope through tears. Truth may sleep, but it never dies. It took 15 years, it took pain, but in the end, justice spoke. Let the story change you, guide your ways. Choose wisdom over blind trust. And remember, truth always finds its voice. Thank you for staying with us until the very end. This was not just a story. It was a mirror, a warning and a lesson written with pain, tears and truth. If this story touched your heart or opened your eyes even a little, then it has done its purpose. Stories like this are told to save lives, prevent mistakes and awaken wisdom. If you believe stories should teach, heal and warm, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss stories that speaks to the soul. Turn on the notification bell so you're the first to hear when a new truth-filled stories drops. Share this story with someone who needs to hear its message. Drop a comment. Your voice matters and we want to hear it. Remember, some stories are simply entertainment, but others are warning meant to change lives. We love you all. God bless you.